This mechanism, with synchronously changing parts every second, produces 1,200 tons of mesh per year. Painting of this kind helps prevent scorching and enhances the growth of the grass. Here's how a massive machine gives a perfectly round shape to a piece of metal that's been heated to 1,000 degrees Celsius. This is the only thing in the world that can surpass my mom's ironing skills. Look, just one brush is enough to make roads perfect. Eek, eek. While others are looking for the perfect vase, a 3D printer makes one just the way you want it. This machine and human duo are so perfectly synchronized that they should be the new standard. Using a double-sided iron mold, it only takes 5 seconds to make a boat. The 5 key elements of this machine must be perfectly synchronized to make a perfect chain. This machine only has 2 parts, but that doesn't stop it from cutting perfectly uniform vermicelli noodles and tossing them into a pot of boiling water. Admit it, you didn't know how radiators were made either. It's impossible not to become hypnotized by this kind of precision. Just like that, a spinning lathe turns any log into a thin sheet of wood. Good thing my ex didn't have one of these things. If Thor's hammer had been made with a hydraulic press, this is definitely what it would have looked like. An ultra-high pressure pump uses water to cut holes into concrete. And here's the most satisfying part of working with the ground. A cable this thick can't be disassembled by hand, but a mechanism with sharp blades moving in opposite directions does an excellent job. It only takes a high-powered pressure washer a few seconds to wash off the old paint from a car. A whole motorcycle disappears before your eyes in this powerful shredder. With an automatic wall painting machine, one worker can plaster up to 400 square meters in a single day. Here's how this 2-ton press recycles tin cans. The 3D printer can turn into a real sculptor if given the opportunity to work with concrete. the packaging of water. I could wash it for hours. This machine satisfying this device is. It makes watering 3,000 square meters of garden beds a real pleasure. Metal products can receive a perfect finish using a vibrating grinder filled with plastic or ceramic rocks. And here's how one cool machine keeps the streets well-groomed. Decorative plates are simply tattooed with soft silicone. This is the clever way of fixing water pipes using a dry technique, thereby avoiding excavation and pipe replacement. If this thing had been around when I was a kid, I wouldn't have had to hunch over in my grandma's garden. Why didn't anyone tell me that tape wrapping could be so cool? Before you bake the perfect Christmas cookie, 9 parts cooperate to form a mold for this cookie. Who could have This machine cuts construction concrete blocks and adjusts them to perfectly fit the future building. This unique excavator simplifies a complex process and saves trees. Making this quantity of tortillas would take years without this tool. Check out this stunning laser technology for printing on denim. Just imagine a mini greenhouse that allows you to cultivate eco mushrooms in just 48 hours. I'm gonna share this with my grandma. I desperately need an ice cream faucet like this at home. This machine fills 21 bags with sand at once. Air is blown into a small plastic mold that's been heated to 110 degrees Celsius, and a double-sided mold forms a 19-liter bottle out of it. A lathe and a sharp hard. "50 faucets spray a tar that immediately gets covered with gravel to create durable asphalt in minutes." Check out the hypnotizing process of making chips for a game called Mahjong. Have you ever seen a machine capable of turning any liquid into snow? The fulfillment provided by this curb roller makes curbs extremely cool. Here's how easy it is to turn an ordinary chain into a Cuban one. This automatic earth tamper does all the work for this guy. Just imagine people having to twist these decorative metal elements by hand before this machine was invented. This machine can arrange the dough on a baking sheet faster and more precisely than any human ever could. Using a hydraulic pile propper, workers are able to remove 1,050 millimeter piles in a matter of seconds. While some people may find this process annoying, this guy found a way to make it satisfying. Thanks to this machine's ability to clean sewers on such a high level, the roads never flood. Here's the process for producing the most important thing on the planet. I wonder what would happen if you vacuum sealed an iPhone, a Big Mac, a fish. A mallet turned out to be the almighty Shredder's weakness, like kryptonite to Superman. Now, the saw is a powerful tool without a doubt, but these ones raise the bar. Check out this giant helicopter saw. The road printer is capable of paving a road with a width of 6 meters in a single pass. Without it, the crew would have been laying bricks for several months. What? This beast can saw through a cliff? Now, with this laser-guided GPS on your bike, you'll have no problem finding your way home after a party. The navigation from your favorite video games is finally real. This autonomous water truck can spray 4,000 liters of water over 24 hours non-stop. Yeah, I thought it was a Transformer too at first. And this milling machine cuts through metal like a hot knife through butter. You ever dreamt of becoming invisible? Then this is what you need. The glass of this shield is so thin that objects behind it become little more than a blur. Psst, using magic is forbidden outside Hogwarts. Wow! By making such huge holes in the ground with a 10-ton piece of concrete, this dynamic compaction machine is actually improving and compacting the soil. So, no, it's not a giant stress reliever. Drilling machines come in different shapes and sizes. This manual drill can make a half-meter hole in the ground in just a second, but this one can dig a 96-meter deep hole. I bet you've never seen how springs are made until this moment. Who would have thought it would be so satisfying? Check out this industrial shredder grinding down some plywood. But that's too easy. Let's see how it handles a steel barrel. This ice maker not only freezes ice instantly, but it also immediately separates it by heating. It turns out that painting gloves is much more satisfying than using them while cleaning. 100 perfect coverings out of 100. Before you is the world's largest stone-cutting saw machine, which can cut enormous boulders like cheese on a grater. The only one craving a triple Parmesan pizza after watching this video? This machine can put up to 9,000 chickens per hour into transportation boxes without harming them in the slightest. Now you know what a chicken roller coaster looks like. Like this video if you also didn't know that the symbols on your keyboard were made with a laser, not paint. Just like the engraving on the fancy journal your best friend gave you. This man wanted a pony so badly as a child that when he grew up, he built a giant 3-story high robot horse. There were so many bicycles in Amsterdam that they even had to create machines to retrieve them from the bottom of rivers. What, you thought being the cycling capital of the world was easy? Here's how school buses get broken down for metal processing. This looks like the greatest job in the world. Thanks to the surf bench, waiting at the bus stop for your friend who's always late won't be so boring anymore. Hopefully they make something similar for toilets for when you forget your phone. Meanwhile, in Japan, power lines are being repaired by humanoid robots. While you're living in 2022, the Japanese are already in 3022. Admit it, now you want to ride this lawnmower with your friend, too. While you're moving from one house to another in Shanghai, the houses move themselves thanks to 200 high-tech supporters. They can move anything from a small house to an entire school. This illusionist has figured out how to free his hands up when it rains. And no, it's not magic. He attached an artificial intelligence drone to the handle of an umbrella and programmed it to follow him around. Rivers and swamps are no obstacle to this machine because it can lay a road right over them. And the result is so perfect that even a tank can drive on it. Check out the air jackhammer in action. I bet you didn't know how tires were made. Now you know a little bit more about your car. Not many think about how nails get sorted, but now you know that they use this magnetic device. You have to be careful when watching this futuristic timer because its fantastic design can actually make you forget about time altogether. Here, I tried to count the number of blades on this high-speed plow without pausing the video. If you think you've got the answer, put it in the comments. These gargantuan, powerful engines are used in shipbuilding. They can reach up to 109,000 horsepower. That's like 110 of the latest Ferraris. Weaving ropes is no easy task, but luckily there's a special machine for this. I'm sure it was invented by a father who could figure out how to braid his daughter's hair. Recycling metal waste becomes really fun when you have a hydraulic magnet that literally pulls all the metal to it. When you asked your mom for a remote-controlled car as a kid, you couldn't have imagined that in the future they would be used to park whole planes. And this pallet jack on steroids is capable of carrying a 45-ton load. No other trencher in the world can compare to this steel giant. It's capable of digging trenches up to 5.5 meters deep. That's the height of an adult giraffe. This excavator mulcher doesn't cut trees down, it completely destroys them in seconds. Even Greta Thunberg would appreciate this amphibious excavator, as it perfectly clears all the garbage and debris out of the water. To make hard ground suitable for sowing, it first has to be broken up, and that's why dynamic compaction machines were invented. Their loads can even be rocket-shaped. These guys can't even remember what scissors look like, because with this device, it only takes a second to cut hundreds of sheets of paper. If you've ever wondered how manholes were made, well, now you have the answer. For this excavator, splitting a gigantic boulder weighing more than 120 tons is like cracking a nut to us. Except cracking nuts is harder. And here's how satisfying slag pot desculling can be if you break a red-hot skull with a jackhammer right after. Here's how a true professional paints eggs. What is that but dinosaur egg? The Indoraptor. No thanks, we have enough problems in 2022. This thing is called an ovoscope that helps identify poor quality eggs in a batch. And this is a fire pump that works like a vacuum cleaner. It just sucks the fire right in, leaving no chance for the flame. Thanks to this device, you finally don't have to slave over the stove anymore. The restaurant people aren't happy about it. Wow. Yeah, this is the tallest demolition machine in the world. Its maximum working height is 65 meters. Picture a 21-story building. That's how high this crane can reach. You are currently looking at Europe's largest and most modern pit furnace system that can harden metal parts up to 5 meters in diameter. And using this industrial monster, parts can be shaped while they are still warm. This amphibious excavator is definitely a better swimmer than me. Look at how easily this giant crane lifts a wooden house. It could definitely handle ore. The sound of cleaning rust with a laser can either be incredibly annoying or incredibly pleasant. This actually isn't a machine gun. It's a laser cutter for nuclear decommissioning, and it's capable of cutting anything in the world.